Okay. Okay. So today, as I mentioned, today we'll be dishing out information on study abroad and application process and also scholarship information because I try to give out this information because I've gone through the process and I will tell you that information is power. If you maybe you have gone through my video, you may have known some of my stories and how some of the challenges I encountered even before I got to where I am today. So this session is really important because I think if I had had it during my own time, maybe I wouldn't have gone through the whole challenges I went through. That is why this is very important. As they say, information is power. So for some of you who are just meeting me for the first time, maybe you don't know me before. My name is Dr. Nzube Eboluche. I will tell you guys just a little bit about myself. I did my undergraduate in Nigeria, University of Nigeria and Nsukka, Department of Soil Science. So after my undergraduate, obviously, I did my National Youth Service. And after that, I started teaching in a high school, secondary school. But while I was doing that, I was exploring different options to do my graduate school abroad. So that was how, my study abroad journey, that was where it started. And during this process, I will tell you that I've really gone through different challenges because the first year I started, I had limited knowledge. And obviously that first application failed because I didn't get through. So the second time, I will tell you like what was my success is information and also mentorship. That was my success. So I got a mentor who gave me reliable information and also supported me through the application process. And this was in 2014. So when I put in my application with the help of my mentor, in 2015, I got admission. I got a full scholarship to come to the US at Michigan State University to do my master's program in crop and soil science. So I'm just telling you, like, that was my success. But I've already lost 1 year trying to do it myself with the, limited knowledge I have. So that was my journey coming to the US, right? I came to the US with full ride scholarship. So after my master's, I also, because I learned a lot from the process, from my mentor, and from the information I have gathered, doing it, passing through the process, I started helping as many as, friends, family to do their application and come over here to study for free, just like me. So I went over after my graduation from my master's program. I started my PhD program, which I also, went through with fully funded graduate assistantship. So you can imagine, I did my master's and my doctoral program free in this country. Think about that for a second. And I've been doing this, helping different people, mentees that come across me and really want to, relocate through study abroad. So that's just a little bit about me. And as we go further through the presentation, this will be what we'll be talking through. I will give you a little bit introduction of my organization. Then we're gonna go over the study abroad, then the application process, the application materials, and then we're gonna take questions because I know most of you have questions. You may have written it down or you have it all in your head. We will answer your question at the end of the session. So who are we? ISA Global Education Services. As you can see, our logo on the presentation, we are a team team of experts, not just, people who just go to YouTube, team of experts that have gone through this same process you want to go through. We are a team that came together to help students, give them the best educational advice, guide them through the process, help them recommend for programs and schools which they can apply and also get accepted. So this is what we do. We help to, individuals, family, whether you are married or what. So that is our real goal. And secondly, we also guide parents. We transform lives, communities by opening that opportunity, because this is a great opportunity, opening that opportunity to obtain high quality education. Okay. And in that space, what do we do to achieve that? We assist qualified and motivated students, individuals who wants to achieve their study abroad dream, either studying in the UK, US, Canada, other Western countries. We help students like that to achieve that dream. And also, we also guide parents, because there are parents who want their kid, their young adults to come over here to do undergraduate program. So we guide parents or guidance to help them make the best choice of the university and also the program for their kids. So what are our services? Because in this as a team, we provide different services. We provide different services to, to carry out all of this. So one of them is providing admission information services. We also do application reviews, right? You come to us, we help you, with your application. Then we also take you through the application admission process. Not everyone have that information. Scholarship resources and guidance. Not everybody knows that information. You may see so many things on YouTube, Google, everything, but that's not actually knowing the nitty-gritty and how to get it done. So we also help students with visa interview preparation. Once you go through the admission process and all of that and come to the stage of your visa, we help you with the visa interview preparation and immigration process. Then the onboarding and residency assistance. So we also help with that. Students who come, maybe their school is in our area of location, we help them get settled, on board in the US and guide them through enrolling in their school and every other thing, and any other document review that the student may have. Now we are getting into the main core of this session, which is what? Studying abroad. And I want to ask you, I don't know, whatever you can see on this word cloud, if you can type it on the chat, that would be great. Whatever thing you can see, please type it on the chat. I want this to be so interactive. Anything you can see. For me, I can see vacation. I can see trips. I can see studying abroad. What can you see? Please, I want to see so many typing on the chat. If you don't know where to type, there is a chat box underneath your phone or laptop, depending what you are joining with. I can see Europe, I can see professor, scholarship, diploma, college, so many things. Type on the chat, I want to see that. Awesome. So we're gonna dive into this today. So for the goal of this session is to provide you insight on studying abroad and give you information on what the application process looks like and go through the materials you need to be successful in this process, and also share information on scholarship. I love the scholarship part because financial support or financial assistance have been, for me, is the hardest challenge for anyone who wants to study abroad, but we're going to give you information. So what do you know? What do you think studying abroad is? For me, I see study abroad as a method. You know, maybe you've done your undergrad in Nigeria. So studying abroad, this method is a way for you to relocate to that country you want to see yourself in the next 5 years, be it US, UK, Canada, Australia, whichever country you want to see yourself. Study abroad is a method that will help you locate that country that you really want to go. That's the way I see study abroad. And I got an exciting news for you today. What is that? That study abroad is the fastest, the easiest, and the cheapest way to get to any country of your choice. There are so many ways you can relocate to any country you want to go to, but study abroad is the cheapest and fastest. You can verify that. And there are different, for you to go through this journey, study abroad journey, the application process, you need to be aware of it, okay? And one of that is you choosing the program and the university you want to go. Some people know about, study abroad, everybody wants to study pathway, everybody wants to Japa, everybody wants to do this. There is a process. There is a process to success. There is a process to anything you can think about. And if you don't follow that process, I bet you may not be successful. So the process, you need to choose your program, think about the program you want to study, think about the schools that offer that program, then the application timeline, because you want to submit your application deadline. So you will be able to get financial benefits or any other benefits within the school. Then once you plan your timeline, you have to request for your transcript. I put this as a third process because I have worked with many students. Some of them find it difficult, getting their transcripts from their school in Nigeria. So I always tell my students, you have to start as early as possible to obtain your transcripts, because you don't want to have any challenge or block on your journey, right? So you also need to develop your resume. Develop your statement of purpose or personal statement, what the school wants you to write. Then the next thing is you submitting your application. This is a simple 6 simple step. You can, go through this process. I mean, trust me on that. And what are the materials you need? There are so many materials, but the materials I'm going to name on here are the common materials that many schools, many universities in the US, in UK, in Canada, even in Australia, whatever country you can name, these materials you will see on your screen are the most common materials required from any university for you to be successful in your application process. One of them is you filling and completing the application form. You must complete the application form. Then, if you are applying for a master's program, the school will require your undergraduate transcripts. But if you are applying for a PhD program, the school will require both your undergraduate and your master's transcript. The next thing we require is your resume, depending the one you want to develop. Then we have the statement of purpose or personal statement. You have to pay attention to this. Some school will require statement of purpose, while some school will require personal statements. So you have to be careful and know what the school requires. Then recommendation letters. Most schools require a maximum of 3, depending whatever university you choose. You have to make sure that you can get the document required for that. Then standardized test, I said if required, because most universities actually do require that from countries where their mode of instruction is in English. Most schools don't require standardized tests from those applicants. So for this, you have to read and make sure that your country is exempted from providing standardized tests. So I will be delving into recommendation letters. Why? Because it's very critical in your application.
Why? Because it's very critical in your application.
For you to be successful, your recommendation letter have to be standard. You have to submit a good recommendation letter. And what is actually required in a recommendation letter? Okay? In your recommendation letters, as you are considering to submit a recommendation letter from anyone, you have to think about, who do you even ask for this recommendation letter? Who am I going to talk to? You have to consider writing a draft. I tell my mentee, just have a draft in case if your recommender may need one, just to have something to modify and then submit. I also recommend you share your resume or SOP with your recommender, because some of us who finished undergrad, your professor or supervisor at the time may have lost contact with you. They may not know what you are doing currently. They may not know your aspiration. But when you share your resume and SOP with the professor, it will help the professor to catch up to where you are and what you really want to do. Okay? So another material I want to delve into is statement of purpose or personal statement. These two things can be similar but different in their way, okay? And this document is very critical. This is a critical document because this is what the admission committee will read in order to know who you are. Remember, there are thousands of applicants submitting their application. The professors in that school, they don't know you. But when you have a good statement of purpose, that is how they will have an idea of who you are. Are you a good fit to their program? Will you fit into the university community? Do you fit into the program vision or mission, right? And they want to know if you are even motivated. Are you a motivated student? So very important that your statement of purpose has to be on point and should include these things I just mentioned. However, it's also good as you are writing a statement of purpose to any school. Make sure that you tailor your statement of purpose to that particular program and also to that particular school. Because most of us, we may be applying to 2 different programs, to 2 different universities. You should tailor your statement of purpose to each of that program and to that university. Don't just use generalized one SOP and you're submitting without any specification in that SOP, okay? So I know by now, some of you may be saying, yeah, why am I, study abroad? I've heard that they pay so much, I may not afford it, right? The question is, can you afford it? Some of you are already asking that question. And I want to bust your bubbles right now, okay? Study abroad, gone are those days when studying abroad is for the rich. And there was a time, if you could remember, studying abroad is for the rich. The rich send their kids to US or whatever to study. But these days, it's no more for the rich. Anybody can access going to study abroad, okay? So that is no more a thing. You can actually study abroad because there is what we now call scholarships, different kinds of scholarships, different kinds of financial aid you can tap into for you to study abroad. Maybe, I don't know how many of you that know my family background, we are not even rich or near rich, okay? When I was doing my application. So I had to tap into this because I know this was really a hindrance for me, right? So I had to tap into this and really hustle for me to get this financial assistance. So there are different types of scholarship, because some people, I hear some people always say, oh, I want a fully funded scholarship. Sometimes I'm not even thinking, okay, what kind of scholarship do I need? Which one can I access? One of them is called merit scholarship. This is basically based on the student's performance. Sometimes most schools give you this scholarship without you doing additional application. So far, you have applied to that school, and they look at your academic performance, they look at your, SO, and see, oh, I love this student. He or she has accomplished a lot. And you will just get this merit-based scholarship. For me, during my master's, when I was applying for a master's program, I got a merit scholarship, which was fully funded. So some schools it could be a partial scholarship, it could be full scholarship. It all depends on the university, okay? And another type of scholarship you should be looking out for is program specific. What do I mean by that? For example, if you are applying for civil engineering, right? There are scholarships tailored for just students applying to civil engineering. So that is what we call program specific. So if you are applying for civil engineering, and the school will look at your academic performance based on your undergrad or maybe master's, depending, you can get this scholarship based on that. Another one, this is another one people don't really know. It's called graduate assistantship. This one is provided by the program or the department or the university you are applying to, okay? So these are different ones. There are so many, but I kind of categorize them in these main three groups. So you have to be aware of all of this as we are, going through this journey. And I want you guys to look at this logo very well. You can see that ESA Global Education Services, our logo says educating the world, one child at a time, right? And I will tell you before, I pick on students, just guide them one-on-one mentorship. But right now, because of the economic status, you can see what is going on. We are helping as many as we can at a time, just a handful. So we can give you the maximum attention that you need, okay? And we can only achieve our goal only if we help you achieve your goal, right? Just like Zig Ziglar said, if you want to achieve a goal, you have to help others achieve their goal. So we are doing that. You are helping us achieve our goal, and we are helping you achieve your goal. And I want to tell you today, you can achieve your goal. Yes, you can. Any goal you can dream about, your study abroad dreams is very valid, and you can achieve it, okay? We are here to help you. I want to tell you, we have a training platform, our Study Abroad and Scholarship Masterclass training platform, where we train students, support them, give them maximum attention to help them through the process, okay? And the next training class starts August 7th. This is the whole month, 1 month training, intensive training. And within these 4 weeks, I bet you will complete at least 2 applications. You will see how much you have progressed, because I know some people who start these their application a year, and yet they're not done. 6 months, they're not done, they're still there. The reason being that you are challenged. You will lack information. You may not have the support you need. You may not have the morale, the advice, you don't have that person to push you, to help you through the process. That is what we do. We are like a community. Okay? In this masterclass, this is what you will do. Give you strategies on how you can select an ideal university and program that suits you. Some people think they can just, oh, maybe my friends, I've been hearing this University of Oxford, University of Maryland, University of this, Harvard University. Not every university you've heard of suits you in particular. Some people, I will tell you, one of my friends was telling his story. He was like, he applied to a particular school 3 consecutive years and got a rejection in those 3 consecutive years. But what happened? When he finally made it to the US, I think he visited the US and went to that particular school. What happened? He was told that the school has not admitted international students from Africa for the last 5 years. Can you imagine that? But then they have been taking his money, his time for 3 consecutive years, sending him a rejection admission letter. So you have to, we help you, give you a strategy on how to select a university that is ideal for you and the program that is ideal for you, and also show you how you can secure scholarship, financial opportunities. And you will, when you get to the stage of visa, you are applying for your visa, we also, that's even an incentive. We also help to prep you for your visa interview, give you information on immigration process, so you are not doing the wrong thing, okay? So many people get to the visa stage and sometimes they don't get it because of one or two things, but we will guide you through that process. And then while in the training class, we make sure you complete at least 2 university applications. You may be like, oh, that's a lie. I've been trying to, submit an application for the last 3 months. I've not done it. Trust me, when you have a mentor, you can do things within the shortest amount of time you can possibly think of, and you'll be successful. Just because you have a mentor, just because you have somebody who is pushing, telling you, oh, this is what you do. I need to review this, You have that. Like your success is just on your doorstep. And we help you review your documents, your SOP, resume, all those things. We help you review it. Make sure it's standard, okay? So you have access to our templates. We already have some templates. You have access to that. And you can always reach us, even though you're doing your application in the middle of the night, you can always reach us and we'll help you in whatever you're doing. So that is the end. I don't want to go on and on. Thank you guys for joining. And now, if you have your questions, please, this is the time. And you can contact us. Don't neglect this. Please type it in the chat. You can contact us through email. You can check out our website. I will put it in the chat so you can have access to it. And you can also follow me on Instagram because I dish out I post free scholarships information. I post, study abroad information. Follow me on Instagram. And my YouTube is filled with informative videos. Informative videos about scholarship, about whichever country you are going to. So don't forget to subscribe. You can just check it right now and connect with me, turn on your notifications so you get whenever I post any informative video. So thank you all for listening. We can now take any question. You can type your question on the chat box. You can speak out to ask your question, and we'll be ready to answer that. Okay, yeah, and Visi, you can go ahead and ask your question. You can type your question also. I will stop sharing so people can talk. You can go ahead and talk. You can ask your question.
Well,
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, the presenter, Dr. Igoluche. Well, I'm impressed, indeed, impressed with the presentation. Though I got off at the beginning, I was not actually getting the information. I wasn't hearing properly. But right now, I may not have much wisdom yet. I probably have to listen subsequent more on the information I presented. I'll do some digestion, for most of the information. Then probably in future, when I gather more information on what I should be looking for or I should be asked for, I think at that point of time I should be able to ask a reasonable question. But for now, I think I just want to thank you because the presentation is very impressive, and we in Nigeria, of course, every participant of this program knew what we are passing through in Nigeria presently. Most of us that are in research areas or in research field, we also have challenges. We really want to enhance our academic activities. We want to improve on what we are doing. Want to be outstanding. We want to be a global figure. So these are things I believe personally I'm aiming towards. So I think with you and information you have provided on this webinar, I think it will be very useful to me and every participant of this program. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Ndubisi, for that great compliments. I really appreciate that. Please send in your question whenever you have them. Our email is there. You have any platform, please. I'm always responsive. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. I think, Obinna, your hand was up. Do you want to ask a question? You can type in your question on the chat box if you don't want to talk. So yeah, you can talk, Obinna. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Miss Nzube.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Good evening. Okay, good evening, everyone out there. I'm very pleased to participate in this your program. In fact, I've been looking for a program like this where I'll get to gather some information because I really need them at this point in time. But there's something I want to ask you. It's really bothering me. I was recently admitted in Michigan Tech, but I applied on a scholarship basis, but unfortunately, I was admitted on self-support. So, and the mode of admission, or when the mode of admission stipulates that during your application, when you are applying for the university, you are automatically or simultaneously being considered for scholarship. So if you weren't given scholarship,
right,
after you might have been given admission, that means you missed the scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So although I sent the school an email requesting for graduate assistantship or any other positions that could earn me some scholarship, but they told me that scholarships are mostly available for students for PhD students. So my question is there any other way, maybe apart from the school, is there any other body where I can actually apply for financial assistantship or scholarship, or what do you suggest I should do in this case? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Obinna, for your question. Congratulations for your admission first. That's a bold step because even before before you get to a scholarship, you have to do admission first, right? You can agree with me on that. Yeah, so if the school didn't consider you for a scholarship, you can explore any other financial aid opportunity within the school or within your program. Okay? Have you heard of graduate assistantship I just mentioned?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I've heard of it.
That's another one you can explore. You know, that's why I said some people don't know about it. They just say scholarship, scholarship, and they will end there. You have to explore other opportunities, okay? So that's what I would suggest you do. And another thing is, if you have a way to demonstrate financial statement to go for your visa processing, you can do that. Most times when you come into the school, you may have more opportunity or to explore, you understand? So,
Yes.
but I would say explore the graduate assistantship and then go to the financial website of the school and also explore that. There are so many within that school. Even though it's 2,000, whatever you can get, by the time you get one here, get two here, you know, you keep joining things and see how much you can get at the end. Okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you
So
very
I
much.
have another question on the chat. So someone said, I have tried applying to some schools in the US, but has not been lucky. I had to equally write GRE and TOEFL. So basically, Chooks, I will tell you that most schools in the US, they don't even require GRE from students coming from Nigeria. Okay, except some specific, when I mean specific, some specific programs. Okay, so that's why I always tell people, most times you don't have an information and you are doing stuff, you end up spending so much. Like, for example, you spent money on GRE, TOEFL, maybe you don't require that. I know so many schools in the US, they don't require all this TOEFL, GRE stuff. So you would have saved money from even doing that. But if you had applied to some schools in the US and you're not lucky, I will tell you something is hindering that. It could be the standard of your SOP. It could be the standard of the recommendation letters your recommender submitted. There is one of my students, you know, after submitting application, the recommender submitted a recommendation letter that has only 5 sentences, or that, you know, Leonard is my student among the 300 students in my class. You know, he's this in 5 sentences, and that professor submitted that. So that's why I tell students, you should know who you will ask for recommendation. If you feel that person cannot put up a standard recommendation letter for you, I advise my student to draft. So you're gonna draft one you think that is of standard. So you make sure that all the documents you're submitting, they are of standard, because your recommendation letter is one of the critical documents admission committee they look at. SOP, all those documents, don't neglect any of them, okay? So I would suggest if you can enroll in the program and will help you get this goal achieved. Very easy, trust me on that. Okay, I have another question. Okay, is this responsible for processing of the program? And apart from the transcript, what are some necessary documents that are needed? I don't know, Cyprian, if you saw when I shared slide on application materials. Those materials are most commonly asked materials. Any school can ask of you. The transcript, the resume or CV, the statement of purpose, your recommendation letters, you must complete your application form. These are the common must submit of those application materials, okay? Yeah. Any other question? So, Chooks, you can send us an email. I posted our email on the chat. Please send us an email and we can help walk you through. Any other question? You can type your question or ask your question. Can you guys hear me now? I was on mute talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said I can see few of our past students from the masterclass, you know, few past and current students who are here. I don't know, sorry for calling you on a spot. Obioma Brown, do you want to give one or two sentences? Just your experience going through the masterclass training and where you are currently. Do you want to just say that for the others to hear your progress? You can unmute Obioma Brown. Is he there? Okay, I don't know if he is. I don't know. So another of our past students, Izuna, I don't know if you want to say one or two things to this, some of our listeners, so they can actually hear your experience going through the program, the training.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. It is a full package. The masterclass was a full package. In fact, last year was I started putting effort towards my application to study abroad last year. And I'm really grateful that I came across this program because I really do not know what to do and how to do anything. Even though I've not been successful yet, but then I am making good strides and I'm no more a greenhorn in the whole process. At least before I even launch an application, I already know what I want to do, how I want to do it, and what is expected of me. Thanks to this master class. This master class reviewed my SOP, reviewed my CV. Even though most times my recommenders, I wouldn't know what they have there. Ordinarily, there are some that will ask you whether you want to know what the recommender wrote. But in most cases, I don't actually go for, because nothing would change. The recommender has written whatever he or she has written. So those ones are more like outside my. But at times the ones, even there was a time my supervisor asked me to draft something and give him. I drafted and give him. I came to his mail. My supervisor in my master's program here in Nigeria. He after reading it, this was the same person that said he's too busy. I was surprised. He sprang up that night, wrote something back, sent back to my email. And at the end of the day, we decided to use his own. So, but you can never know how strong the recommendation is. It's just that once you see something you feel you like, but then I know there are some of them, there are levels they may not want to go. They may not want to, I don't know, but then they will not. They would say they will not want to to blow things out of proportion or something like that, then there are good recommendations. I've gotten good recommendations, but then I've also seen other recommendations. In fact, I have a friend who told me that he has his supervisor's password, and what he does is the man gives him access to his mails, so he replies. I said, "Man, yours is," and the guy is a Yoruba. He used to, but then he has not still been lucky. So the whole thing is actually a combination of factors, like Dr. Zubi said. But then I must be frank with you. I just believe that this year is my time. I have that conviction within me. I have all my documents
Yes,
ready. My SOPs are that
ready.
will be reviewed. My CV. In fact, most times when I even try to code email some professors, they take time. Some of them take time to praise my CV. So, and it's courtesy of this master class. There are many good things that I took from here, but then hopefully I started applying to US this year particularly. I was actually looking at
Yeah,
Australia, but then I
Australia.
met a lot of frustrations there. And then this year I said, yeah, this year I said, I've been hearing that US is the king of scholarship, king of funding. I said something should be here for me now. Well, what am I even going to look for in all these countries that are not that popular? I decided to throw in my heart to the ring.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. This is the little I
Thank
can
you,
say for
Izuna.
now.
Thank you.
Amazing,
Thank you for that,
amazing.
great summary. Yeah, Izuna was one of our past students, and we've been working with him. And let me tell you, once you are part of us, you are part of us. It doesn't matter where you go. I still have past students who are still, one of them is still in Europe, one in UK. We are still talking because they went for their masters and they want to proceed to a PhD. So we are still helping work with them to make sure they still advance in their program because we see ourselves as a community. So I don't know. Chidiamara is one of our current students. So maybe I don't know if Chidiamara wants to share one or two things as a current student, because you've heard from a past, you can hear from a current student. I didn't even know he joined, but it's good that he's here. Maybe he can share one or two things. Chidiamara, can you talk? Obioma Brown is also here. If you can
Okay,
talk, just say
yeah,
one or two words. Where you are,
yeah, good evening.
your progress. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I really appreciate this. Meanwhile, I comment the last speaker, Mr. Obioma Brown. I commend him so much for what he shared about his experience and what he has
Yeah,
learned.
that's Izuna.
Hello, everyone hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. So I really commend him for what he shared, and as he was talking, I started laughing. Why I was laughing is because his voice was just sounding like that of my manager, and it was exactly the voice of my manager. I was like, this might be a talking though. Yeah, I said okay, fine, but that's by the way. That's just what I just want to say is that I still want to appreciate Dr. Zubi for her support and how she's helping this community grow, because I know what we just started, we started it like this, but I know that this is really going to go far, because when they start hearing good things and testimonies of how students have succeeded and how some of us have been able to travel out of that as a result of what we've learned from this program, some people will be thrilled and there will be much larger crowd. In fact, larger crowd is going to join. I'm seeing this as something that is going to grow beyond measures and beyond what anyone could ever imagine. Then also for the experience of
Your
writing
application
of
progress.
yeah, okay, for sorry for digressing a little bit. So for my application progress, initially I applied to Schoolish Business School, and the only thing that they said that they were not going to, that they are still considering is because of my CGPA. And I think it was because during the time they scored, they didn't remove the elective courses, which I might have not performed well on. Because if they had removed the elective courses, they would see that I have B+. But because they didn't remove, they had to calculate everything. And then they landed up in saying that it's B-. So that's why. But currently now, the one I'm applying at Loyalist College is currently in progress. We've gone even through the payment process and support and everything. So what is remaining is just for me to upload my SOPs and the necessary documents, and then everything is done.
Yeah, that's great,
So
because
we're
Chidama
almost done with
actually,
that.
yeah, because he actually started 3 weeks ago. They're the one rounding up their training. So he actually started 3 weeks ago. So you can see how much progress he has made in his application. So he's already turning in application and submitting. So I will tell you, this is what we do in our training. We don't waste time. We push you, help you, guide you, do your application package, write all your essays and all that, and you submit. Very simple. We are not wasting time. We're not waiting 3 months, 5 months. No. In 1 week, you're going to submit at least 2 applications to 2 different universities. Okay. The application for 2024 academic session, both for the US, Canada, UK, and even every other country, have actually started in August. So we are starting this training in August to make sure that students start as early as possible to start putting in application. Because you can only put in application and then start talking about scholarship, start looking. If you wait until, let's say, next year, you are missing that window. And most schools consider you for automatic scholarship or assistantship if you submit your application before a priority deadline. There is what we call priority deadline. You may not have heard that before. So you have to start as early as possible. And I bet you, once after that program, you beat your chest and say, yes, I'm glad I did this, you know, and you start packing your stuff for next year to start relocating. I don't know if anyone else have a question. So how do I start my application and knowing the right school to apply? So Cyprian, once we start the program, because I know you already enrolled, so once we start the training, we will guide you through that. So you don't even need to stress yourself, right? So we'll guide you through everything, suggest you different schools you can apply based on your own academic performance, the course you want to study, and some other things we consider. So we suggest schools where you will have a higher probability of getting admitted, okay? Not all schools are for you. There are schools that are for you, and those schools are the ideal schools we're going to suggest to you. So someone said, please, can I work for other schools? I use my semester result. Okay, so basically you have to read whichever school you're applying, you have to check what they require, okay? You check what they require before you can submit. Don't think because this thing worked for school A, it's gonna work for school B, okay? It doesn't work that way. And another person said, I graduated and want to apply, but not all my documents are out. It depends on the document that is not out. So you've already seen the documents that we mentioned that are needed. So once you are done, and you are done with school, and you are sure you can get your transcript from your school, then you have everything you need. Because once you can get your transcript from the school, then you can actually start the application. You don't need to get a transcript before you start. If you start, you can start processing your transcript. I have another question. Currently applying to a university in Canada. Could you please guide me on that path? Yes, that's what we do. We guide students, we review their documents, send us an email, and we follow through and guide you into enrolling into the training. Which other question? If you have any other question, you can type in or raise your hand and talk. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. I just want to say, I hope everyone really got a good information that they can start, that can help you to actually start doing something, okay? So, you know, someone said, I couldn't secure graduate. Do you advise to? If you have access, why not? I mean, don't lose a focus of what you want to do, okay? Don't lose a focus. You should know what you really want to do. That is very important. Some people get lost in this journey. And while you are if you are under our mentorship, we make sure you stay focused on the goal. Some people get lost in the whole journey and they are looking for something that is not reachable. So you have to stay focused and know what your goals are. So if you are looking at the documents that are needed, I would say whichever school you are applying to, there is a section that says admission requirements. That's where you will see the documents needed for whichever school you're applying to. Okay, what I listed is common to every university, which are your transcripts, resume, SOP, or personal statements, and obviously the application form, the recommendation letter. So those are the common ones, but I always make sure, check the university you're applying and see the admission requirements, materials they require. So you are not just doing stuff without knowledge. Okay, Nicholas, I hope that answered your question. Any other question? Did you learn anything today? Raise your hand or use the reaction, type yes in the chat. I just want to make sure that this session was really informative. I want to see yes if you really learned something today, that you can start doing something. Okay, I'm seeing Nicholas. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone joining, and I'm glad we all learned something today. Send us an email, as I have mentioned, and we'll get back to you. If you have any question, you can always reach out, okay? Don't waste time. Take action. Take action, okay? Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.